now invite Angus Little and Tim Saunders to lead us in the Acknowledgement and Prayer of Country. Acknowledgement of Country and Prayer.
My name is Angus Little, and I'm proud to have been chosen to present today's Acknowledgement of Country. I acknowledge that we are meeting today on the lands of the Tharal people. Part of my acknowledgement today will share with you a piece of knowledge from these lands. You may not be aware, but the totem of the Tharal people is the lyrebird. Through the sharing of the Dreamtime stories, the lyrebird is given the role of the peacemaker in the first great dispute between all creatures. As a reward, the lyrebird is given the ability to be the only animal able to communicate to all other animals. The next time you are walking on Tharal country and come across a lyrebird, take time to notice the noises it makes. It has the ability to copy all sounds it hears. This is a gift it carries with it today. A peacemaker, a communicator, a symbol of the Tharal people. I pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today, and I wish to also extend my respect to all non-Indigenous people here today who also walk on these sacred Aboriginal lands. Thank you.
We begin in prayer. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world." Our candle is lit as a symbol of his presence with us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God of hope, we come together today to give thanks for the gifts of the Year 12 High Achievers of 2022. Through their commitment and dedication to using their gifts, our high-achieving students have achieved great academic success. We pray that they continue to use these gifts, measuring their success not by riches, but by the joy that comes from using one's gift in serving others. As they plan for their futures, may they be seekers of justice and work in praise for the glory of God and the building of his kingdom. St. Marcel and St. Gregory, Mary our good mother, and let us always remember. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Please stand for the national anthem.
Good morning, Mr. Matthew Brennan, Principal of the College, leadership team and teachers, award recipients and their families, and students of the College. Good morning also to our special guests, MP for Macarthur, Mr. Greg Warren, Shardy Williams from Mount Carmel and her two SRC leaders. Today we are assembled as a community to celebrate the efforts of our High School Certificate 2022 highest performing students. During this award ceremony, we will acknowledge our distinguished achievers, students who achieved an ATAR of 90 or above, and we will present the College Ducks for 2022. Our first group of students to receive recognition are our distinguished achievers. Can these award recipients please move to the side of the stage now? To announce these awards, I invite to the stage Mr. Bullock, our Stage 6 Academic Care Leader. I also invite Mr. Brennan to present these awards, assisted by Mr. Newell.
special guests, teachers, parents, students and HSC students of 2022. It gives me great pleasure to announce the following Distinguished Achiever Awards. To be awarded a Band 6, a student needs to gain a HSC mark of 90 out of 100 or more for a 2-unit course, or 45 out of 50 or more for a 1-unit course. In 2022, 22 students achieved a total of 41 Band 6 or E4 results. I will now announce these fine young men and their achievements. Please hold your applause until the end of each group of award recipients. Cooper Benson, Mathematics, Standard 2. Declan Byram, Legal Studies, Studies of Religion 2. Patrick Cleary, Mathematics Standard 2. Ben Colborne, Legal Studies, Mathematics Advanced. Nicholas Cosma, Industrial Technology, Mathematics Standard 2 and Construction Examination. Dominic Curtin, Mathematics Extension 1, Mathematics Extension 2 and Physics. Patrick Davis, Industrial Technology, Mathematics Standard 2, Construction Examination. Leo Desling, Music 1. In his absence, Thomas Graham, Modern History. Eden Grasso, Mathematics Extension 2. Charlie Geimer, Construction Examination. Thomas Kennedy, Mathematics Extension 1, Mathematics Advanced, Physics. Brodie McConchie, Legal Studies. John McDonald, Legal Studies, Studies of Religion 2. Jordan Messer, Chemistry, Mathematics Extension 1, Mathematics Extension 2, and Physics. In his absence, Sean Mertig, Legal Studies. Andrew Parkin, Chemistry, Mathematics Extension 1, Mathematics Advanced, and Physics. In his absence, Joshua Parrish, Mathematics Standard 2. William Potts, Music 1. William Sinclair, Studies of Religion 1. Manoj Weerasingham, Legal Studies, Mathematics Standard 2, Studies of Religion 2. And in his absence, Callum Williams Paroli, Mathematics Standard. Please congratulate our Distinguished Achievers for 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. Again, congratulations to these students. For our musical item today, we welcome back to the stage Leo Desling. Leo scored one of our highest music marks ever last year. Today he'll play the famous Blue Moon by Tommy Emmanuel. Please welcome to the stage Leo Dejeling.
Wow, thank you, Leo, for that amazing performance. It was great to have you back on stage one more time. That brings us to our presentation of awards for students who achieved outstanding ATAR results, followed by our presentation of College Ducks for 2022. To announce these awards, I call to the stage the Director of Studies, Mr. Bombardieri, Mr. Brennan, and Ms. Tolomeo, who will present these awards.
Good morning, college community, guests, teachers, students, and HSC students of 2022. Before we announce our outstanding ATAR achievements and College Ducks, It is only fitting that I present a snapshot of our HSC 2022 academic achievements. In 2022, NESA conferred 126 HSC credentials to students of St Gregory's College. The college achieved 41 Band 6 results, which represented 6.3% of courses studied. 35.8% of our students achieved a Band 5 or a Band 6 in their courses. Our top ATAR was 98.45. The college was represented by 9 students who achieved an ATAR of 90 or over. 53 students obtained TAFE credentials, and 65% of our courses scored above state average. I'm sure you'll agree these outstanding credentials are wonderful for our 2022 HSC cohort. Please give them a round of applause. Along with Mr. Brennan presenting our awards for our 90 plus, I would also invite Mr. Warren to the stage to present them as well. This year, I'm proud to announce that 9 students from St Gregory's College achieved an ATAR of 90 or above. The following students are to be highly commended on their achievement. I will announce each student and the ATAR they achieved, as well as the university that they will be attending. Please hold your applause until all the students have been presented. First of all, John McDonald scored an ATAR of 91, and he will be attending, doing a Bachelor of Law and a Bachelor of Communication Media at Wollongong University. William Potts. William scored an ATAR of 91.4, and he will be attending UTS, studying a Bachelor of Business and Law. Ben Colborne. Ben achieved an ATAR of 94.1. He'll be studying at Sydney University, and he is studying a Bachelor of Engineering. Manoj Weerasingham. Manoj scored a ATAR of 94.35, and he will be studying a Bachelor of Business at UTS. Thomas Kennedy. Thomas scored an ATAR of 96.5. He'll be studying a Bachelor of Engineering, Civil Engineering, at University of Wollongong. Declan Byram. Declan scored an ATAR of 96.9. He'll be studying a Bachelor of Business and a Bachelor of Law at Western Sydney University. Dominic Curtin. Dominic scored an ATAR of 97.15, and he'll be studying Renewable Energy Engineering at the University of New South Wales. and Andrew Parkin. Andrew attained an ATAR of 97.5, and he'll be studying aerospace engineering at the University of New South Wales. Please congratulate these fine young men. Finally, it gives me great pleasure to announce the College Ducks for 2022. Achieving an ATAR of 98.45, please congratulate our College Ducks for 2022, Jordan Messer. And Jordan will be studying a double degree of quantum engineering and Bachelor of Science at University of New South Wales. Can we congratulate Jordan? And now I'll invite Jordan up to do his Ducks speech.
Let me take you back to Mr. Bingham's Year 10 PE class, where he'd hung on the wall a poster of an iceberg. The visible part above the waves simply said success. The part below the waves, and typically hidden from view, said things such as hard work, persistence, failures, and sacrifice. I didn't think much of this until it came to the HSC, where I found nothing could explain the journey to success so precisely and succinct. Today, I will try to reveal to you the important aspects of success I found crucial to the HSC, but are often hidden from view. Good morning, parents, staff, students of the college, and fellow high achievers of 2022. We gather here today to celebrate the amazing successes of the class of 2022. Not just the high achievers, but everyone who graduated, who had to endure 3 years of COVID, fires, and to top it all off, floods. To combat all this and still achieve the goals and aspirations we set ourselves is an achievement we should all be very proud of. The resilience we all showed and the results we achieved are not the outcome of any single individual. The HSC is a team effort, and your relationships with those around you are crucial to success. Spending 2 years in the same classes with the same people, I naturally grew close with my classmates. These relationships were often filled with competitive spirit, where we quietly strove to beat our mates and try and push ahead of them. If we fell behind, we strove to not only catch up, but overtake. This was crucial in our enduring motivation, although everyone had moments where their motivation inevitably faltered. The friendly competition and camaraderie in our senior years were crucial to helping us push through these slumps to come up the other side with even more motivation to keep going. Similarly, spending 2 years with your teachers in your final years also leads to them becoming friends. They are one of your greatest sources of support, so use it. Don't be afraid to ask questions or get some extra help on something you haven't managed to grasp yet. The dedication and sacrifices they made for us were astounding. To make sure we knew every part of the syllabus in detail, how to answer questions, and importantly, that we enjoyed the subject. One of the best ways to receive this help is math study Wednesday afternoons, where the maths department offers an hour and a half of their time to help any student with questions, assignments, or anything else they might need help with. Your teachers will be your greatest source of help during your journey through the HSC. It is at this point I need to thank my Year 12 teachers, who dedicated countless hours in our support. Without them, it would have been impossible to achieve what I did. Mrs. Arentz, for always helping me improve my practice essays. Mr. Bond, for tolerating us in the Marion and getting the mantra stuck in my head, answer the question. Mr. Andrews, for making chem fun with your analogies and pracs that usually worked. Mr. Todd, for being so generous with your time and help. Mrs. Simmons, for making me appreciate the glory of maths. And of course, Mrs. Hackett, for all the hours spent before school trying to figure out what imaginary numbers really were. It is to you these results are truly owed. I also need to give a shout out to my family. While you may not have always been able to help with my homework, thank you for always tolerating me when I was in a bad mood, for allowing me to chew your ear off if I needed to talk, and always loving and supporting whatever I chose to do. Words cannot express how grateful I am. The HSC is about reaching your goals. To get the ATAR you need for a degree, or the marks to get into an apprenticeship, or simply finishing school. You need to ask yourself, what are my goals? What do I want to achieve when I graduate? Figure out your purpose, and you'll find your motivation to put in the effort and reach those goals. Every high achiever here this morning set ourselves a goal, either to get a band 6 or an ATAR over 90. We have proof that goals are reachable, so set some, and who knows where they might take you. Success in the HSC always requires hard work and persistence. No one has ever reached the goals they set without putting in some effort. As I've said, once you know what you want, you'll be motivated to put in the hard yards to reach it. Each practice paper and each essay, each hour in the workshop, sanding or finally completing your artwork, or adding to your major portfolio will take you closer to those goals. The more you do, the closer you will become. Personally, completing 35 practice papers between trials and HSC across all my subjects brought me these results. As Mr. Andrews used to say, the HSC is like a front foot drive. The more you practice before the match, the more likely you are to succeed when it's game time. This inevitably leads to sacrifice. You'll have to set aside time to do practice papers, or work the seamlessly endless hours on a major work. To reach the goals you set will probably mean not being able to go out every weekend, or not being able to play video games every night, and of course the late nights you will have to endure. But these sacrifices will come to fruition at the end. The final part of the iceberg I would like to bring to the surface is rather simple. Have fun. You will only succeed if you love what you do, whether that be school, work, or an apprenticeship. If you enjoy what you do, you will naturally want to do better and put the effort in. Year 11 and 12 is an opportunity to choose subjects you enjoy. For me, that was maths and science, but for others, that may have been construction, or music, or history. If you love what you pick, you're more likely to reach your goals and succeed. You only complete school once, so enjoy it. Otherwise, you'll blink and have missed it. If you love what you do, develop positive relationships with those around you, and put in the effort to reach your goals, you will succeed. Not just in the HSC and school, but in life in general. The challenge is over to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jordan. It's great to hear your words of inspiration for all of us to take on board as we move forward. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the Year 12 cohort of 2022 as they move into their new endeavours. Please know that you're all very welcome back here at the college anytime. I now invite Mr. Brennan to deliver the Principal's address.
Good morning to Reverend Brothers, to our special guests who've joined us here today, to our parents and family and friends of our distinguished achievers, to the staff of the college, and of course to our young men and young ladies who are joining us as students of St Greg's here this morning. Just before I begin my address, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Mr Bombarderi and the ladies in the office and Mr Newell, and so many others who put together such a fitting tribute to our young men who've done just so incredibly well in their HSC year. These things don't happen by accident. Already Jordan's mentioned the importance of hard work and practice, and I know that our young MCs, for some of them their first time, and also for the way the whole ceremony has been conducted, came with some hard work and some practice. So we might just, in the normal way, recognise those people who put together this morning's assembly. At the Year 12 graduation ceremony last year, I spoke about Abraham Lincoln and his challenge of us being people who are prepared to get in the arena, to be in the fight and not to be standing on the outside of things, mocking, humiliating, sledging people who are working to the best of their ability, and to stay in that fight. And certainly our young men who have returned to us today have certainly demonstrated by being in that arena, by working hard, and to hear 35 practice papers between trials and final exams, is someone who is positioning themselves to be the best version of themselves or get the best academic results that they possibly can. And so I really do want to recognise the efforts of the boys who have done so well today. One of the things that I take great pleasure and joy out of is seeing not only our boys who get over 90, incredibly hard-working young men who also have a natural talent as well. But when we speak to boys about choosing electives later in their years, in Year 9 and Year 10, we talk about two things. Well, my two passions are pick something that you love or you like, as Jordan has mentioned, and something that you're good at. And to be able to recognise the young men who got a score over 90 in their construction exam or in industrial technology gives me great joy too. And it makes me consider the fact that every student from Year 7 to Year 12 should be aspiring to return to this assembly. If you're looking for any motivation, you've only got to look at the young men that have joined us today. And yes, we've heard the boys over 90 and what they're going to do with their successes. And that is absolutely wonderful. But whether you are academically inclined or otherwise, you've seen today that if you do something you love, if you put in the hard work, and it's something that you are good at, then you really should be returning to this High Achievers Assembly. So I do really congratulate the young men who are here. And the challenge that I will give to the rest of you is there's no reason why all of you, whether you are doing a tertiary package or an ATAR, or whether you're looking at vet subjects, there is an opportunity in your final year to get a result to earn you an opportunity to come back. Where Jordan was sitting, there was an empty seat sitting beside him, and that was very intentional. And that seat is for all of our young men who did their best, who've now moved on to the next stages of their life, whether they're at TAFE, whether they've started their apprenticeships, or whether they're getting ready for university, who may not have reached the lofty heights of an ATAR over 90 or a score over 90 in a course. We had many, many boys get over 80. Our highest ATAR that wasn't here was 89.95. And it was interesting, there was a young ex-student, those who've been here for some time would remember the name Brendan Colley, a young boarder from Nyngan who joined us in Year 9. He was one of those boys who got 89.95 and he graduated in 2009. And he contacted me over the holidays. He's recently married an Irish girl and he was in Sydney and wanted to show around the school. And it was interesting, he was saying how proud he was of the school, and it was something that he still remembered, his ATAR, and how what drove him in the times of study was to be able to attend this assembly. And whilst the rules back then were an ATAR over 90 and he didn't quite do it, he's now gone on to a very, very successful consulting career in Brisbane. And he's somebody, again, one of the great success stories. And whilst he wasn't sitting here, he, like so many others, did exceptionally well. So the seat is for those young men who didn't quite make the cut, for want of a better term. Another great statistic that Mr Bombaderi didn't mention was that 80% of our students who were ATAR eligible received early offers for university. And again, while we celebrate the outstanding achievements, as we should, of an ATAR number and a score over 90, the fact that 80% of our 80% of our students knew where they were going prior to the HSC, and many of them are very excited about that. Gives me great excitement and hope for the future of our young men and in fact our society, that so many are already embarking on their next step. I would also like to thank the teaching staff, and I know Jordan has done that already, but to thank them for their incredible work to ensure that all of you, from year to our youngest primary school students to our current class of Year 12, are provided the opportunity to do the very best you can. And I know our staff, and it has been mentioned again by Jordan, that do many hours that are unseen, many hours early mornings, afternoons and evenings, to provide you an opportunity to get what you deserve and to get the marks that you aspire to get, or to get your timber finished or your artworks done. And I'd say about the staff here at St Greg's, which sticks out for me, if you show an inkling of interest, if you really show them that you are passionate about what they're teaching you, they'll give you back what you put in tenfold. And so again, I really do want to publicly recognise and thank the staff. To the families of our distinguished achievers, having had 2 children go through the HSC, it's a long ride. It's certainly not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I do say to the parents of Year 11, really, as parents, it's your job just to feed them and try and keep them calm, because often the work is of a standard that you perhaps didn't do at school. But not only the parents, but the family and the friends, and I know I welcome the class of 94 school captain Mark Crawford here today, who's here with family and friends, who do that things again to ensure that there is an environment outside of the school to allow our young men to achieve the success they have. So in closing, I want to just go back to what I said a moment ago. If you're looking for motivation in your studies, whatever your academic abilities are, you look no further than the young men who are here this morning who have come back from the class of 2022. 3 years of COVID, fires and floods weren't enough to stop them from chasing their dreams and doing so well. My final comments are to the young men that have come back today. Please know that you are, as members of our community and family, and will always be, and we will follow your successes, your triumphs, and your slip-ups along the way, and know that there is a family that is the St Greg's family that will be here with you always. So goodbye and God bless, and very best in your next adventures, whether it be study or work. Somebody actually couldn't leave the school and is still working with us, so that's great for you, Pat. But for the rest of you, it is I do wish you the Godspeed and the very best of luck. And on behalf of everybody, once again, congratulations.
This concludes our HSC High Achievers Assembly. Mr. Weeks will conclude proceedings.
Thank you. In a few moments, the official party will leave, followed by the high achievers and their families. And many people involved, as Mr. Brennan said, in this morning. I do want to thank once again our high achievers. Can we give them one big round of applause? Special shout out to Leo for your music playing this morning, for Jordan for your fantastic speech, and our MCs who are MC'd for the first time today. Can we give those a big round of applause also? Now we will stand for the Subtum in a moment, but before we do, our gentlemen in the senior school, you'll be heading into period 1 very shortly. Our junior school, you'll be led by Mrs. Ivanchik down to the junior school shortly. But can we now stand for the Subtum and the official party to leave? Thanks, everyone. That does bring us to the end of our morning assembly. Just take your seats, and I'll leave you under the instruction of your year leaders and teachers in the room. Thanks, everyone. Great morning.